What's up everyone, Tim here from Everyday Tactical Vids. As you can see, we're looking at a product from Olight today. This is the Olight S1 Baton. They sent this to me for review and I just can't tell you how excited I am to check this thing out. I mean, look at the size of this thing. I'm going to put it in my hand in a second, but it is just tiny. As you can see on the front there, 500 lumens out of this tiny little light. Lots of cool features, including, as you can also see here on the front, a quality 5-year warranty promise. So Olight's been getting a lot of good publicity in recent years just because they just make a really cool product, and so this is their tiny little S1 Baton. Let me flip it over to the back, give you some of the specs. We'll take it out of the package, talk through the details, show you what it looks like in use. I'm going to EDC it for a while, and then we'll give you our overall assessment. The print here on the back is really small to see, but let me just read some of the specs to you. It's 2.4 inches long, it weighs 2.9 ounces. It has a Cree XML2 CW LED. Your outputs are going to be 8, 80, and 500 lumens, and then they have two special modes, which is 0.5 lumens, which they call their moonlight mode, and then you have a strobe mode as well. It runs on one CR123 or a rechargeable CR123, and yeah, that's kind of the basics on it. Let me note here that it does not come with a battery, so you're going to have to buy your own battery for it. Here's your instructions, here's the light, and here's your lanyard. You know, it's got this a little bit thicker kind of spongy texture here to this back section. It says Olight. You get this little tab here so you can pinch and adjust it so you got a smaller loop, or adjust it so you have a bigger loop. And then this is the part that actually attaches to the light, and I think you can pick this up on the camera. Yeah, there's a little metal piece right here, and when I first saw it I'm like, what's that for? But because where the lanyard's going to go through here in this tiny little hole, it's hard to slide this piece of string through it. You actually put the metal through, pull it through, and then your lanyard is attached. So I'll show you how to do that right now. I don't generally use a lanyard, but I love the fact that they included this because it is a hassle sometimes to you know, try to get your lanyard all set up. So basically you slide it through with that metal piece, and you can just take the metal piece off at the end. Then this goes through here. Loop it over, pull it through. Let me get rid of that metal piece now so it's not causing any more problems. Good. Bring it down. And now your lanyard is attached to your light. Down on the bottom here we have the Olight S1 Baton, and then we'll just work our way up. Just want to give you a quick size comparison. So S1 Baton there, then we have the ThruNite Archer 1A V2. This is the Thorfire PF02, that's a pen light. The Streamlight Microstream, we have the Streamlight Polytac, and up the top we have the Relic XR from 0 Hour. So it's even smaller than the Streamlight Microstream, that's pretty impressive. Most lights are not that small, so it's certainly a little bit wider, but overall just, you know, shorter as far as your end-to-end length. You know, sometimes when you say things like an item is very small or extremely compact, you get a general sense, okay, I get it's really tiny, but show me what it looks like compared to some other items. So let's do that real quick. Here's the light compared to a roll of red electrical tape. Here's the light compared to your average keychain carabiner. Here's the light compared to a Zippo lighter. It's almost the exact same height, tiny bit taller than the Zippo lighter. But there it is comparing those two items. Here it is compared to a stick of chapstick. Very similar in size when they're standing up. Here it is compared to a full-size average baseball hat. Here it is compared to a Coke can. A couple more. Here it is compared to a quarter. And then the last one, here it is compared to a Smith & Wesson M&P 9mm magazine. So as you can tell, this thing is just really, really small. And again, 500 lumens at its highest output, very impressive. Let me show you a couple other things just to give you a size comparison. Now what you can do is certainly put this in like a little emergency kit, survival kit. Let me show you. So it fits really nicely inside an Altoids tin. So you could put a bunch of other items in there and have a very powerful light with the clip to put on a hat. Also with the magnetic feature, so it'll stand up and connect to metal things. So there it is in an Altoids tin. The other thing I want to show you here is this is the Tops Kukuri. I'll show you the knife real quick. And the reason I wanted to show you this one, there's the knife. The reason I wanted to show you this is For me, I think about this knife from Tops as like, you know, kind of a one-tool option. It's bigger than your average like bushcraft knife, but it's not as big as like a full-size hatchet. But this setup has a pretty big pocket here, and so if I wanted to put, you know, some emergency gear in here when I was out in the woods, hiking, camping, hunting, something like that. So you open up this pocket and you can fit this thing in absolutely no problem. So this thing, when I have it in and moved all the way over to the side, is basically in this section, and I have this much of the pocket left. So I could probably fit 4 across, easily 4, maybe even 5 if I squeeze them right across the top, and probably 2 high. I could fit about 10 of these Olights in that pocket. So I just wanted to give you a sense quickly here of how compact this little light is. And yeah, I mean, it's small, it's really small, it's extremely small. This is another cool feature of the Olight S1 Baton. Now if you get a light that's too long, it's going to bump into your head, so you can't put it on your hat. But with this one you can, and as long as you can, you have that little push button not right against your hat or underneath the clip, you're good to go. So there it is, and then you can see I'll scroll through the different settings. Low, medium, highest, low, medium, and then the highest. And so there you go. Now you don't even have to have a headlamp for these types of situations. As long as you have a baseball hat, you can attach this this light to your hat and you're good to go. I'm outside here and I'm going to show you what the S1 Baton looks like in use. I've been EDCing this for about 3 weeks now, and I would just, you know, kind of my conclusion thus far would be ridiculously small and ridiculously powerful. Just a lot of power for such a tiny little light. So let me show you on your Firefly setting, your lowest setting. Here's what my hand looks like right in front of the camera. So, you know, I could do some reading or some fine work there if I had to, you know, just use that lowest setting. And then let me zoom this back out a little bit here, and then we'll look over at our friend Johnny in a minute, and I'm going to scroll through the different light settings. And there you can see Johnny. So this is on the highest setting. So this is your 500 lumens. Looking at Johnny out there, he's a little bit short, but he's doing okay. So that's what your highest setting is. Let me scroll through again down to really your lowest. This is not the Firefly, it's the low setting though. You can't see anything. Your medium, you can start to make out his head obviously there. And then on your highest setting you can definitely see. And the other thing I'll tell you is that when I'm shining the light right here at him, let me zoom back out a little bit here. I mean, you can see when I shine it there, even on the camera you can see how much I can pick up. And I'm picking up from the edge of the fence, which is over that way, over to really that white chair and the swing set, even when I'm shining here. I mean, I could see from Johnny on both sides. I can see all the way to the fence, which is probably about 8 feet away, and then over to the edge of the playground there, the edge of the taller structure, and that's about 20 feet away. So yeah, I mean, you're just getting a lot of light. I've been using this light when I've been going out at night, just to, you know, when I'm taking the compost out back, taking some recycling out back, just so I can see everything. And this light just gives me a ton of light for such a compact little thing. So that's what that looks like, and you saw what it looked like clipped onto my hat. Now the other thing I'll tell you is that double tap it, and it's going to give you that flash. And now we've got the timer set. Double tap it again, and it's going to give you a single flash. So, you know, there's different ways you can get this to run for that 3-minute or that 9-minute setting. You know, based on the number of taps you're giving it here, and then it'll turn itself off. So that's just a cool thing. So, you know, you want it to run for a while and then shut itself off. You can set it that way. You want it to run for longer and shut itself off, you can set it that way again. Now the one other thing I'll tell you is that it does get hot. I'm holding it. It's not going to burn my skin hot, but you can definitely tell it's getting hot from running at this highest setting for a while. So just be aware of that it can really heat up because of those 500 lumens it's putting out in such a tiny little light. I'll scroll through here one more time. Low, medium, high. Low, medium, high. So as an EDC light, super impressed. Really enjoyed using this, and it's great too because you can certainly clip it on your pocket, but it's small enough you could just throw it into your pocket as well. Back here in the studio now, wrapping up our review of the Olight S1 Baton. Price point, once again, is going to run you between $50 up to about $70 depending on the setup that you get. You can get the light just by itself, you can get it with batteries, you can get it with rechargeable batteries, you can get it with rechargeable batteries and a rechargeable or a recharging station. So about a $20 difference between your most basic to your more advanced options. Overall, I just like it a lot. Very compact. Throw it onto a pocket with the clip, throw it into a pocket, clip it on a hat. a lot of power for such a tiny little light. The one downside I would say is this: the button right here, because the clip can move, it can spin. Let me just show you real quick. It can spin, you know, around. And so every once in a while, it would be in my pocket, and the clip would spin around and cover the actual button. So I'd be like, okay, where's the button? I'd be, you know, kind of feeling along the side here, couldn't find it, and then I realized, oh, the clip had moved. That's why you can't touch the button right now. So just something to be aware of. I don't know if I was Olight, if I'd do anything to change that necessarily. I think it works just great, and it's nice that you can take the clip off without a lot of work or no tools, etc. But just something to be aware of if you're using the light and you're like, hey, I can't find the button. That can be a little bit of a challenge. The other thing I'll say is I'm used to, even though more and more lights are having, you know, a button here or, you know, an end button and then a button here as well. I'm always looking for the end cap button. So it may take a little bit of a learning curve for some people who aren't used to having a button here, but they're used to a button on the end cap. Just a heads up. Still though, 500 lumens for something so tiny, I just like that a lot. So I've been rotating this into my EDC setup, like I said, for about 3 weeks, and I'm going to keep it in my rotation. I like it enough that I'm going to continue to use it as an EDC light, and it's fun just to show to people, my friends who are into gear and stuff, just to be like, hey, check this out, and they're like, wow, that's tiny, and then I'm like, it's 500 lumens. They're like, I cannot believe that thing is 500 lumens, it's so small. So it's cool just to let them experience the power of the S1 Baton from Olight as well. So it's been fun to review this S1 Baton. Hopefully I'll get some other lights from Olight to review as well. I've liked their products from what I've seen, and also from using this one. This is the only Olight that I own. I'm just focusing on other brands and not just a ton of flashlights, but just lots of other gear here in my reviews. But I want to get my hands on some more Olights just to test them out, because I do hear good things and a lot of people seem to really enjoy them. So we'll see what the future holds with our partnership with Olight, but thank you to Olight for sending this one along for review, and a definite thumbs up from Everyday Tactical Vids. I would call this the most compact high power light I have ever used and ever reviewed, and definitely like it quite a bit. Thanks as always for checking out our reviews here on YouTube. Please subscribe to Everyday Tactical Vids on YouTube if you haven't done so already. Like us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter, check us out on Instagram and Tumblr as well. And also want to encourage you to use the links below to purchase items, and head over to our Amazon store and purchase items there, because you'll be helping to support the Everyday Tactical Vids channel. Also like, share, and get the word out about Everyday Tactical Vids. Thanks as always. Talk to you guys soon. Later.